oh, you're killing hype, you're doing, you know, all the kind of stuff that I've been hearing time and time again, but yet I have to sit here and call out the BS, and there's plenty of BS to call out. First, there was this. Exclusivo! Zack Snyder, Christopher Nolan, and the Saudis set to bring back the Snyderverse. Zack Snyder and Christopher Nolan and the Saudis. The Saudis. So let's talk about this Saudi Arabia thing. So after all the madness that was happening this weekend when it came to Zack liking that post that was comparing the box office to Man of Steel and Superman, then we had other things that were coming about for, that were being put out there from certain people, certain individuals, people who like to grift, that's for damn sure, that were saying, oh yeah, Saudi Arabia is going to be making a bid as well when it comes to Warner Brothers. And then, of course, when they were talking about the ties, or at least the friendly connection that they have with Zack Snyder, which possibly because they like the UFC, they might actually help back the UFC movie. I don't know what's going on with that. It just seems like, yeah, there might be something there. So naturally, people were like, holy crap, maybe they will restore the Snyderverse. And then not only did Zack like that one post, he also liked another post that there was a possibility that Saudi Arabia would be buying Warner Brothers. And there are people that actually want this, all because of a couple of superhero sequels that they want. So when it comes to Saudi Arabia, while we're kind of going, obviously the track record when it comes to like human rights and free speech and everything has been, they haven't had the best track record when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I will say this, that it almost seems like they are lightening up on a lot of that, because they just did have a comedy festival that happened over there. And I listen to comedy podcasts. I love stand-up comedy. And I was listening to the controversies and listening to the responses to all that, and it seems like it went okay. Everybody came back alive. Everybody was fine. So maybe they are trying to be lenient because, yeah, it's mainly the people who are in charge, the billionaires, trillionaires, I guess you could say. And, the people still want to, see all the stuff that, we get to see and everything. So I will say that maybe they are lightening up when it comes to that. Cosmicbook news. These guys, which I think might just be one guy again, Matt McGroin, as I call him, because this guy is one of the biggest pieces of shit weasels out there in the game. I called him out back when it came to the Snyder Cut information that they were putting out there, and of course he blocked me on there, he blocked me on his personal account, and of course I remain blocked, and now here I am calling him out again for Restore the Snyderverse bullshit. You are being played by Cosmicbook News if you are passing it around and trying to champion them, because they are saying exactly what you want them to say. And if you are being played, you probably deserve it. I'm just gonna be blunt about that. The people that I've seen that are passing around their bullshit are usually the really triggered people. Like especially when I pull, I've seen them in my mentions, and when I push back against them and they get easily triggered, they throw insults. Oh my God, it's crazy when you actually even try to talk to these individuals, because they lose their shit, because again, oh, you're killing hype, you're doing, all the kind of stuff that I've been hearing time and time again, but yet I have to sit here and call out the BS, and there's plenty of BS to call out. First, there was this. Exclusivo! Zack Snyder, Christopher Nolan, and the Saudis set to bring back the Snyderverse. Zack Snyder and Christopher Nolan and the Saudis. The Saudis, you're bringing Christopher Nolan into your bullshit, and people are eating it up? Again, you deserve to be played by Cosmicbook Movie News if you think any of this is true. Christopher Nolan is making probably his biggest movie right now, The Odyssey, and he's not caring about any of this. He doesn't want to do the superhero genre anymore. Zack is, obviously, we got his movie, The Last Photograph, and then the UFC. Oh, it's so exhausting. And they just put out this BS and everybody eats it up, including this pudgy bastard. Good old Tyrone Magnus. That's right, he posted a video titled The Snyderverse has been restored, and utilizing, there's the name Matt McGroin right there, using that, saying yes, doesn't do any research, does not care as long as he gets clicks. Because I will commend the Snyder fandom, and I've always said this, is that the Snyder fandom is very good at spamming, very good at tweeting, very good when it comes to organizing that kind of stuff. You know, regardless of how you feel about the certain hashtags and whatever the hell, they're very good at, like, spamming the absolute shit. I mean, if you go to some of these, and I always look at these guys' profiles when they show up in my mentions. I will look at their profile and just see, like, Jesus Christ, look at how many tweets they did in a day. So they're very good at that, and people have noticed. Websites have noticed. This is why they still will tote things in there when it comes to Zack Snyder and when it comes to James Gunn and all that stuff, because they know the engagement will be there because hyenas, man. Urgh! So then naturally somebody like Matt McGroin and Tyrone Magnumness know that they're going to get some clicks and traction when it comes to that. I don't think they actually believe any of this stuff. It's actually pretty ridiculous. And whoa. What is Cosmicbook News saying now? Cavill, Godot, Momoa, Fisher on board, Miller doubtful, Affleck possibly. Hashtag Restore the Snyderverse. But let's go to a response that they had not even that long ago. This is back on October 20th when somebody was, they were making fun of the fact that, does Zack have any pics of Superman smiling? Just saying. And then of course we have this dude right here who I know doesn't like me and has had me blocked for a while, but of course got triggered because that's what happens a lot with these guys. And then Cosmicbook News responds with, I know the Snyderverse isn't coming back. What? You telling me that they don't oh my God, it's just sad at this point. Here's another fun one when it comes to Zack knows what's going on. And then of course are putting a bunch of red arrows, stating this and stating that and tweeting something on Veterans Day because that's what he tweeted. He tweeted that Man of Steel image, which is beautiful and glorious. And they followed it up by saying, and you'll note the current head of DC Studios did or said nothing on the day. And then, of course, good old Mr. Alex Lobo right here reminded Mr. Matt McGroin that he's a fucking moron and doesn't do anything, doesn't do actual real journalism, and shows that on that day, James Gunn posted on all social media to bid on an autographed Superman movie poster and help build homes for injured veterans. The guy is so full of shit. Fucking, he's coming out of his ears. And when it came to the initial story about Saudi Arabia making a bid on this and everything, it was basically attached to when it came to Paramount or even possibly Comcast, that they were going to support the bid or something like that. But then, of course, if you just wait patiently the next day or whatever, and something's probably going to change after I post this even on Wednesday, but yeah, something changed today on Tuesday. Paramount's guidance denies that its Warner Brothers Discovery bid involves Arab sovereign wealth funds. Womp womp. Yeah, sorry to break it to you folks that, that's not happening. Well, of course it's not. Of course it's not. Oh, they heard something and they ran with it. Just like some other people did too. I'm not saying that they were the only ones. And then of course I had people in my mentions that were like, hey, long as they're game, that's fine. I'm like, yeah, because all you care about is cape shit. Who cares about the impact that it'll have on the industry or the people who work for the industry? Who gives a fuck about them or that when you have the hope of getting 2 Justice League sequels? Oh yeah, but I had some people, of course, name like the 17 other movies that they want as well. My bad. You gotta watch out for the bullshitters and the gaslighters, and I keep on reminding you of who. Yes, I get people saying that about me when I just comment about this and just say, hey, warning, these guys are full of shit. These guys are saying this, these guys are saying that. They don't know what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on. Zack probably maybe knows a little bit, maybe he's heard some things because he isn't within the business, but no, when it comes to discussions of a merger, they're not going to involve Zack as the director. They actually think that he's heavily involved, and then that's why he's teasing on Instagram. It's so goddamn ridiculous. And again, like the guys that don't like me, like your Aaron Fishers, your fucking Lethal Geeks guys. I think even, there's other people like your Ski Walker and your Sills and those guys that I've had interactions with and who've, that we've had clashes with. Yeah, those guys are constantly gaslighting because I even seen some of that when it comes to that. And by the way, which was funny about the events that happened yesterday when it came to Restore the Snyderverse, because, you know, everybody was saying like, hey, it's November 17th, which people assured me in my comments and in my mentions that something was gonna happen on November 17th. Zack's gonna announce something, he's gonna post something, and the Snyderverse is going to be restored and blah, blah, blah. And what did Zack post? A bucket of water. Oh, I don't know if this is from the last photograph set, I assume, or maybe it could be from Justice League, or it could be from somewhere else. I don't know. He just said 4x5 Polaroid. That's it. Now later on, he did post something that was absolutely glorious, but everybody was thinking that there was going to be something because obviously in 2019, November 17th, when people were tweeting out release the Snyder Cut, and, you know, everybody was on board, like Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, everybody was on board, and it was crazy. It was a crazy time, so we thought maybe, yeah, he would post something to honor that, but even with the next post, which is absolutely glorious, he didn't really even mention what happened in 2019. BVS Batman in the hard suit. Anyone else hard? I sure am. So that was it. And then he's continued to post last photograph stuff right there. So again, this is why I keep saying pump the brakes. That's why I keep saying pump the brakes. Stop listening to these crazy people out there. These guys that are just fishing for clicks and everything. Cosmicbook News is full of shit. Tyrone Magnus is full of shit. And then of course you got the others that, you know, it's kind of funny, like the ones that come after me, like your Lethal Geeks and your Ski Walkers and all those guys right there. They refuse to use the Restore the Snyderverse hashtag. Why? Because they didn't come up with it. That is 100% it right there. They went around when Restore the Snyderverse went viral and got 1.5 million. So now, yesterday, I think I read that it was like 72,000 when I saw like when it came to all that. And if you saw those guys, they refused to use the Restore the Snyderverse hashtag, and of course wanted to use their little hashtags when it came to sell, which is just absolutely ridiculous. And it just kind of shows you right there the mindset of all this right here. It's like they can't even do that because they have these fucking fragile little egos. Trust me, they do. Like I said, you push back and you start, you know, asking questions, they resort to insults and losing their fucking minds. Trust me, I've had my interactions with them. You saw the videos. It's so ridiculous because it's like that's the whole thing right there, to be honest. It's like that right there. But there you go. There you go, guys. There's me talking about it right there. Like I said, just pump the brakes, call out the BS, and we're gonna be just fine. Let's just relax, enjoy the images that Zack's going to be posting because he's gonna post more, and that's all I can really say to you.